Awesome. All right. Hey, everyone. This is Jorge from Team JVS. Right now, we have the All Stars of Kicking Blood, which is a new movie that just came out. We have Alanna and we have Luke with us. So, hey, guys, just to start off, how are you guys doing?
Good, good.
Excellent. Hype on some coffee, so it's good. Good.
Hey,
Getting through the
hey, you
day.
know what? We all have our secret juice.
Yes.
So first, let me just start off and say we had the pleasure of seeing the film a few days ago and absolutely loved it. It was such a different take to the vampire genre as a whole. Your guys' acting was on point, so believable, so like it. I loved it. Like I've been talking about this nonstop with a couple of our buddies, just how much I just truly enjoyed this film and just how different it is than just your typical I don't want to say like run of the mill vampire movie.
Hmm.
Say it. Just say it.
Yeah, yeah. We're all thinking it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it brings such a neat element. Something that for me really got me going was this isn't like a horror film. This is like it can fit into so many different genres. So throughout the movie, like there was the comedic side of it that I saw. There was, like the romance that I saw, in it. Obviously the gore. I mean, it's vampires,
Hmm.
but then it brought this like human element to it, where it just blew me away. So first question, obviously for you guys is what brought you, I guess, what attracted you to this film more than anything, because I think you guys were perfect in this. So definitely want to hear from you guys, what attracted you guys to it, and how did you guys connect with your characters?
Yeah. Honestly, very similar to what you were saying. What attracted me to the script was I couldn't pinpoint what it was. As I was reading it, I was like, this is about vampires, but it's a love story and it's funny and
Hmm.
there's some horror in it. And so and still, after seeing it for the first time last night, it's sort of genre bending. And obviously, the fact that I got to play vampire was one of the most attractive things to me because who doesn't want to play a bloodsucker? But similarly, the vampires within the movie are not your stereotypical vampires, and it was changing constantly pre-production, and while we were filming, we were still discovering what these vampires are and who they are and how they live amongst humans. And so I think that leaving it up to interpretation and sort of having us and the audience fill in blanks
Hmm.
makes it so exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. And how about you, Luke? What attracted you to it?
Yeah, I think there's always something funny as actors as we do auditions. Sometimes you do four in a week and you have to do this thing where you don't really think about it afterwards. And then it's funny, you get a call back and, me and Alanna were doing a chemistry test and I was like, can I see the script? Let me see the script before I agree to do a chemistry test on this job. Because if my number rule is like, if you don't like the script, don't do it because you're gonna have a horrible time when you're filming. Um, but yeah, it was after reading it really surprised me because the scenes that we had for the audition honestly didn't even scratch the surface for the beauty that the script was. And then as the drafts continued to change, because they were changing, right? We did what, three read throughs before we started filming, just to kind of rework things. But even as like onto the day, every scene had something special in it that told almost its own story with each different character. Even the people that you guys end up there's a beautiful symbolism with all those characters, and I think Blaine does such a great job in, I don't want to say it's describing the human condition, but it's kind of something along those lines. He's a master at understanding the emotion that we feel and kind of putting it onto paper is very difficult. It is very difficult. I'm like, I read a lot of scripts and you can tell immediately whether or not it's got it. And this
Yeah.
one had it.
No, that's awesome. Now, something that that I picked up on throughout it was, you know, what was basically said or told without using words. And I think both of you guys, did such a great job on that. You know, it's almost like you guys were just in your element. That's the nicest way I can put it. You know, it portrayed to the audience so well. You know, like, and I know when I was talking with Blaine earlier, he did say, you know, it's interesting. We cut out some stuff in the movie because you didn't need the dialogue. Like, just through your facial expressions, through your eyes, you can like see so much. So, moving on from that, it's kind of like, how was it shooting with Blaine? Kind of going through that process, because I believe you guys did most of this filming, if not all of it, during COVID, which obviously throws a huge monkey wrench into everything. So how was that? You know, how was filming through a pandemic, and what were some of the obstacles you guys faced that, obviously no one would have known that this pandemic would be as crazy as it has been, but what were some of those obstacles that you guys encountered that obviously you haven't encountered before with this?
Yeah, this might be a bit of a hot take, but I think that the restrictions actually helped this. Oh my God, the crew's gonna kill me.
Yeah. Do not let anybody hear this.
Okay, it didn't help, but personally, as an actor, and especially for the role of Anna, the restrictions and the isolation, I think, helped me. And I think, not that I think that the movie would have been different, but for example, Luke and I had 2 weeks to get to know each other. It would have read differently on screen, whereas all the interaction that we had was on set, and we were sort of discovering each other as our characters were. So in that respect, I do think that the pandemic helped, and just visually the isolation in Sudbury and where we were filming and the lack of people, I think that it added a really cold and desolate layer to the film that wouldn't have been achieved had there been, hordes of people on the street.
Well, I think there's something that we kind of keep coming back to, is that Sudbury, the location itself, became another character in the film. And I think that, without the restrictions and without the lockdown, I don't know. I feel like the streets would have been a little bit more. We wouldn't have been able to get those extreme desolate shots. But it's I agree. Honestly, I agree with you very much, Alanna. There was something very interesting to be said about not having 2.5 weeks of the two of us getting to know each other very well. And I think we both had the same mind space of film our scenes and keep ourselves separate. Both of our, I think, very heady stuff was all at the same time. So we were in the same mind state, and it was like, there was kind of a break point in the film where we were starting to shoot a little bit more light stuff. And we were like, oh, we can actually be like friendly and like talk to each other now. Cause we really, I don't want to say it was like, I don't really think it was even by my choice, or I was like, we're not trying to be method and not talk to each other, but it was just, we were both in it in a way that we knew that that's kind of what we needed. And I think that I think a lot of it plays in the lack of, say, where we don't need to speak the words, is because we were both really feeling all of that within the isolation of being locked in at home and then being locked in Sudbury again. It was, there was an interesting moment where it played into the enhancement of the characters. And
I think that Luke and I, we never spoke about it either, but I think we had like an unspoken, not rule, but it was just an unspoken thing that when we needed to lighten the mood and have some levity, we would shoot the shit and yell and laugh. But then when it was time to work, we would both shut up. And it was time to work. And it was just like, I haven't had that with a partner in a film in a very long time. Usually, you're sort of on different working schedules and wavelengths, but I feel like throughout the entire process, we were just like in sync.
Which translates later. There was 100% mutual respect and honestly an admiration towards your abilities that made me come to set in a way that, we're coming at this together, and I appreciated everything that you were doing. So it's like knowing that that's how the dynamic of the film, it went, like you're saying, we didn't talk about it. It wasn't like we're like, let's just not talk and let's make sure we keep our distance. It's just everything played out perfectly. Yeah.
Very natural. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's awesome. No, and I will say some of the shots that were done in the movie, I do agree with you guys, where not having anyone on the street and just showing how it was almost like eerie how quiet
Mm-hmm.
it was. Like it was just beautiful. Like it really did add to that element. And you are correct. It almost adds a new character to the film.
Yeah.
Um, Now within this also, I guess, and this is individually. So obviously you're playing a vampire. You're playing, I guess, an alcoholic who's obviously kicking
alcohol. Yeah.
his binge. But how did you guys, I guess, kind of mentally prepare for that? Because, and I don't want to say being an alcoholic is an easy thing, because you can just go to like an AA meeting or something and actually understand those people. But we don't have like vampire AA meetings or anything like that around here. So, and it's, you don't want to look at Twilight or anything like that. So what kind of got you, I guess, what mentally prepared you guys for your roles? Because they're very polar opposite, but as the movie goes on, it's very succinct, kind of how you guys are playing like each other and going through the same struggles and understanding more and more your characters. So how did that come about?
I'll say a portion of it almost reminded me, like as we were filming, reminded me of Benjamin Button, with Curious Case of Benjamin Button, because they're going in the same path but opposite ends.
Yes.
I'm coming back to life. She's going the opposite way. I think the beautiful thing about a job like this is when you have something like addiction and something that is a struggle for so many people. I'm like, everybody knows somebody who's addicted to something. It's not just alcohol. We all have our own vices, and I think that the thing that makes it simple as an actor for me is I just love research, and I love doing research and reading and reading and reading. And I read so many books just about the mind and about what alcohol, what addiction just does to the neural pathways in your mind. So when I could understand that it's not an emotional thing, it's something that you actually have no control over. It's something that you're involuntarily doing. You don't want to be this way, but you have no choice. It really made every decision kind of simple to make for me. Yeah.
Yeah, and for me, everything that I needed was in the script and through conversations with Blaine and Leonard, the co-writers. And as Luke said, addiction is prevalent in our day and age. And if you're not afflicted by it, then someone very close to you that, is struggling. So I think that lived experiences mixed with the script itself provided everything you need to get into character.
I love it. And I know we're running really short on time here, so I don't want to take up too much, but one final comment is the movie poster for this is mind-boggling, like phenomenal.
I know, yeah.
And I'm not sure who did that but like beyond 2 thumbs up. Like that was just beautiful. And then the final thing, I always like ending it with people when I'm talking to them is, would love to hear a little bit more, kind of like what's next in the pipeline for you guys, or what are you guys hoping for, to kind of come down, or any. I will always take breaking news, but I will not force you to tell me anything. But if you do, I will forever be grateful. But just kind of what's going on in your guys' life, kind of outside of this, or what's your next projects that you guys are eyeing down?
So there's a show that I was a part of that we filmed last fall that's premiering at the TIFF primetime section of the festival. So that's next week. So that's coming out. And future projects. It just made me, the words that you just used made me think of that I truly want to make more Canadian content like this. This was a pure Canadian cast and crew shot in Canada, and what we achieved, the caliber of film that came out of Sudbury and our Canadian actors and director and crew was just phenomenal. So for the future, I'm putting it out there that it is possible, and we need more Canadian content like this because it's just killer.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you. It actually, well, working, the more you work, it makes you just want to work more. So I've just been writing a lot, trying to get a couple projects of my own off the ground in the next year. And then, yeah, I'm working on this CBC BET co-pro out in Winnipeg, which should be coming out in February 2022. Wait a minute. Yeah, 2022.
Yeah.
That's the next year. I was like, I still think it's like 2015 in my mind.
I know. Yes.
2020.
This past year has felt like it's lasted 4. So
Yeah. It's so true.
Awesome. Well, once again, guys, you killed it on this film. Just want to thank you guys so much. Thank you for your time. We really appreciate it. I am hoping, crossing my fingers, I am blasting it as much as I can. I'm hoping this gets picked up in the US so more colleagues, down below you guys can see it, because it is truly a work of art. Like I loved everything about it. So you guys killed it. So thank you so much for your time, as always, and definitely look forward to talking with you guys again here soon in the future.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Bye.
Bye-bye.